Imagine stepping into a world so vast, so immersive, and so legendary that it continues to captivate players more than a decade after its release. A world where you can carve out your own path as a warrior, a mage, an assassin, or even a simple merchant wandering the frozen tundras. Since its release in 2011, The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim has been hailed as one of the greatest RPGs of all time. But in 2025, with gaming technology at an all-time high and new role-playing masterpieces constantly pushing the boundaries, one question remains. Is Skyrim still the best RPG ever made, or has it finally been surpassed by modern titles with better graphics, deeper mechanics, and more immersive worlds? Today, we will explore what has kept Skyrim alive for so long, its strengths and flaws in the modern gaming landscape, and whether it is still worth playing in 2025. The enduring legacy of Skyrim. To understand why Skyrim still commands attention in 2025, we need to look at why it became such a massive success in the first place. When it was released in 2011, Skyrim was revolutionary. Its massive open world, rich lore, and unparalleled player freedom set a new standard for RPGs. Unlike many linear games, Skyrim allowed players to truly live in its world. Its success can be attributed to several key factors. Expansive open world. Skyrim's vast, handcrafted world is filled with mountains, forests, dungeons, and ancient ruins, all inviting players to explore at their own pace. Unparalleled player freedom. Unlike many RPGs, Skyrim does not lock players into a single playstyle. You can be a heroic dragon slayer, a stealthy assassin, or a simple farmer living off the land. Endless replayability. No two playthroughs are the same, with multiple factions, unique quests, and choices that shape the world. Skyrim encourages multiple playthroughs. Modding community. One of Skyrim's greatest strengths has been its modding scene. Fans have added new lands, characters, quests, and even overhauled the game's mechanics, ensuring that it never feels outdated. For years, Skyrim has remained relevant thanks to these elements. But in 2025, does it still hold up against modern RPGs? Why Skyrim is still worth playing in 2025? Even with newer RPGs offering breathtaking graphics and deeper mechanics, Skyrim still stands tall. Here is why it remains a strong contender for the best RPG, even in 2025. 1. The power of mods. A constantly evolving game. If you are playing Skyrim on PC, you are not just playing a game from 2011. You are experiencing a constantly evolving world thanks to its massive modding community. Over the years, modders have transformed Skyrim into a next-gen RPG. With mods, players can upgrade graphics to 4K resolutions with ray tracing and high-definition textures, enhance eye behavior, making NPCs smarter and more dynamic, expand the world with new quests, lands, and factions, overhaul combat, magic, and survival mechanics for a fresh experience. For many players, modded Skyrim feels like a completely different game, often rivaling or even surpassing newer RPGs. 2. Open world freedom that few games replicate. Many modern RPGs, while stunning and mechanically deep, often restrict players with linear storytelling or limited exploration. Skyrim, on the other hand, gives players complete control over their journey. You can choose to ignore the main quest entirely and explore the world at your own pace. Become the leader of factions like the Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, or Companions. Play as a wandering merchant, hunting and crafting goods for gold. Choose between being a hero, a villain, or something in between. This level of freedom ensures that no two playthroughs feel the same, and that is something many modern RPGs still struggle to achieve. 3. Timeless storytelling and lore. While Skyrim's main storyline may not be the most complex in RPG history, its world building and lore are some of the richest in gaming. Every town, every book, and every NPC holds a piece of a larger world that extends across the Elder Scrolls universe. The game's side quests often surpass the main story in depth and engagement. The Dark Brotherhood questline, the Daedric Prince encounters, and even minor random events tell fascinating stories that players still talk about today. For players who enjoy deep lore and emergent storytelling, Skyrim remains an unparalleled experience, where Skyrim shows its age in 2025. Of course, not everything about Skyrim has aged gracefully. 1. The graphics are outdated. Even with remastered versions, Skyrim's base graphics look primitive compared to modern RPGs. Character models are stiff, animations feel robotic, and the world lacks the detail seen in newer open-world games. Without mods, Skyrim's visual presentation is one of its biggest weaknesses. 2. The combat feels dated. While Skyrim offers great player freedom, its combat system has always been a point of criticism. Compared to modern RPGs, Skyrim's combat feels simplistic. Melee combat lacks weight and impact. Enemy AI is often predictable and repetitive. Magic, while fun, is less dynamic than in newer RPGs like Baldur's Gate 3. Newer RPGs have introduced more strategic and fluid combat systems that make Skyrim feel somewhat clunky by comparison. 3. Bugs and glitches still exist. Despite re-releases and updates, Skyrim still carries many of Bethesda's signature glitches. NPCs get stuck in walls, physics occasionally break, and certain quests can still bug out. While some players find these quirks amusing, others see them as a sign that Skyrim is simply a product of an older era of game development. How Skyrim compares to today's RPG giants. With RPGs continuing to evolve, Skyrim is no longer the undisputed king. Let's compare it to some of today's biggest role-playing titles. 1. Elden Ring. A new open-world masterpiece. Features breathtaking environments and deep, rewarding combat. Offers a rich, mysterious world, though it lacks Skyrim's freedom of interaction. More challenging, making it appealing to hardcore players. 2. Baldur's Gate 3. A modern narrative RPG. Features some of the best storytelling and player choice in RPG history. Combat is turn-based, offering more depth but a different experience from Skyrim. Lacks the same open-world freedom that makes Skyrim unique. 3. Starfield. Bethesda's own attempt at a new Skyrim. Features a massive universe, but reception has been mixed. Many players still claim Skyrim has better world building and immersion. While these games have surpassed Skyrim in certain aspects, none of them have completely replaced its legacy. Is Skyrim still the best RPG in 2025? If you have never played Skyrim, it is absolutely worth experiencing. It remains one of the most immersive and expansive RPGs ever made. For returning players, the experience depends on how you play. With mods, it can feel fresh and modern. Without them, its age starts to show. Is it still the best RPG of all time? That depends on what you value. Newer games have surpassed it in graphics and mechanics, but few capture its magic and replayability. For some, Skyrim will always be the ultimate RPG. For others, it is time to move on. What do you think? Has Skyrim stood the test of time, or have modern RPGs finally surpassed it? Does nostalgia keep it alive, or is there truly nothing like it? Let us know in the comments, and if you love legendary RPG discussions, like this video and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep adventuring, keep modding, and remember, the next Elder Scrolls game is still nowhere in sight.